Our first walkthrough in a while. It's spring, and just to show you the state of things, things are coming along nicely. First of all, obviously we lost a bunch of foliage on this vine, this Petrea vine, from the freeze, and I still need to go back and trim out a lot of this. But we still have our arch, and I talked this over with Lawrence, and we looked at it and realized we can let the overhanging branches rest on the copper roof. It just needs to be kept off the wood, so I'm going to get in there and do that. But it's looking very cool. This, our sweet autumn clematis. One long vine was growing out of the back, and I pulled it over. But it's cranking up top. This thing should be full this year. The ortolans are just flourishing. I mean, look, we've got such a profusion of little ones coming up, and these that were cut off and coming back. It's looking very beautiful. And just a glimpse in here to show you that crazy tall hibiscus. It's really remarkable, and it's blooming way up at the top. These bananas are coming back as well in here from the freeze. Now this is, the bougainvillea is planted in the ground, and we lost all of the foliage of the bougainvillea in the freeze. There is life in the vine, there's green in the vine, so we'll see if that bougainvillea comes back at all. But in the meantime, what I did was I cut off all of the thorns to make it smooth, not brambly, and leave a natural vine lattice work for this jasmine to grow up. And what I realized about the two jasmine we have and planted a couple of years ago is that they're very non-competitive. They don't like to compete for the sun and space with another vine that's more aggressive. And so now with this bougainvillea all denuded of its leaves, this jasmine is starting to blow up and climb all the way up, and in fact has a spurt of growth near the top there. So I'm hopeful that we'll get this to bloom this year. It's a very large, pure white Jasmine officinale hybridized with something larger to make it a larger flower, but it's a true jasmine. Okay. Coming out into the main courtyard. Things looking quite beautiful. It's looking stunning over here. Now this is the banana blossom plant, which is of course a mini magnolia, and it does have some buds coming on it. It was blooming a little bit ago. I think it's just on a rest cycle. And check out this monstera. It's just looking stunning. This one. A little guy, he's hiding there in a bush ready to throw something. The shell ginger's doing great. The Rangoon creepers in profusion up there. But we've got it nicely cleared out around the kettle fountain. I need to get a new pump for that fountain. That one kicked out. But things looking very beautiful. This palm is growing up beautifully on the left. We have those two purple iris flanking it back there. It's kind of hard to see in the shadow. And the growth, and again, this monstera is just stunning right here. It looks so beautiful. Rising up to see the metal works on the wall. The fan palm. Now, this, the English ivy that was in there for years finally pooped out. I think actually it was an irrigation problem that the gardeners weren't watching. But I replaced it with an Algerian ivy, which is slightly larger leaves, slightly darker, and more robust. So it actually tolerates sunlight better. So I think it's actually going to do better there. Again, all doing beautifully here from this angle. We've got this umbrella tree. Let's see if we can get a shot of him. And there's a couple of clivia down there. They're very, they seem quite healthy and they are growing. We'll see if they bloom. Now this kitchen bed is looking very, very nicely right now. The bananas are coming back. We've got a young one and the cutoff one coming back. We did, that Monstera really took a hit because it was not completely free of fungus when the freeze came. And this, remember, is the area where we had a heater that went out one night. So, but it's coming back and it's putting out fully fenestrated leaves. So that's good. This is another giant purple iris I stuck right there, which is not blooming today, but I suspect that's because it does have a bud coming. So it's probably tomorrow or the next day. I think he's a little off cycle because he's in a more shaded area. But check out this composition, which I think has matured really nicely in the last few years. And this, yeah, with the Hawaiian tea plants and the liriope and the beautiful purple iris and the sansevieria, it's really a beauty. Of course, this is the Asiatic lilies that finally started blooming. They were in full bloom for Thomas and his friends who came by yesterday and really spent a lot of the day here. Now over here, this is looking honestly better than ever over here. First of all, the composition has matured. If you can take in the sweep of it, with Monstera to the right, which is coming back nicely. It didn't get as beat up as the other one, and it is putting out new fully fenestrated leaves. We have some fresh Hawaiian tea plants, which really add these wonderful splashes of color. Hibiscus blooming behind the poolfish. I do have the nursery on lookout for the Persian shield, so we can replenish the mane of the lionfish. But notice that the purple iris here are blooming. Notice also there's a banana tree right there, the one you're looking at. I actually liberated that from the entry patio because the regrowth was so profuse and I was in the wrong spot. So I put it here where it's just filling in a little blank. But then again, look at these beautiful purple iris that have synchronized blooming. Among 4 of the iris, we have 6 iris in the courtyard and 4 of them are blooming on the same day. Okay. This iris, I'm not quite sure why he's not yet blooming at all. We don't see a flower pod coming out of one of its stalks yet, but we'll watch for it. The datura, here's what I did with the datura. I planted a whole grove of rosemary on the pot, and that's because the leaf eaters just love these datura leaves. They completely devour them, and they were devouring them too fast and really stunting the growth of the thing. So with the grove of rosemary and an additional irrigation tube, this thing has just started to blow up, and it's really growing profusely, and I expect it's going to do very well. This is just a fresh material of something that was there. It's a yellow hibiscus with a magenta center. So I'll send you shots when that blooms. Interestingly here, the Carolina jessamine, which has been doing very well, and I sent you shots of it blooming back when it blooms in late February and March. But this down here, actually lower, is the jasmine. And once again, remember that just like the other one, the jasmine in the entry patio, this one didn't do well when it was overshadowed by the Carolina jessamine. But now that the jessamine has settled itself up higher and its lower vines are denuded, I guess it just prefers the light up there. this jasmine has started to grow, and it's looking like it's growing nicely. And so, fingers crossed. Let's hope we have a profusion of this jasmine back here. Again, composition's maturing. This bed is looking terrific. Absolutely wonderful. The bananas all coming back, shooting up toward the sky. And check out the sweep of things here. Some Hawaiian tea. Again, another blooming giant purple iris. These two alocasias are coming back just great, and they're putting out beautiful large leaves. This one is a banana tree has grown up too close to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and move it to the corner and have it just arch over from the corner. I think that'll be a magnificent look over here. And this one is great here because it goes out in all directions, and it creates this beautiful form. The hibiscus, remember we lost all the leaves except for the branch going up that way, which is still putting out flowers. But it's now, this is all new growth. And so that's actually a really cool thing because hibiscus bloom on new growth. So fingers crossed we have an explosion of new hibiscus flowers.